Welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. Whether you're watching us live at sktrading.live or listening on your favorite podcast platform, we've got you covered. Subscribe, join the community, and get ready to dive into real talk and real market insights. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, I'm Stephen Kalayjian, and welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. Boy, oh boy, was it ugly today. Number one, I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you. And second of all, well, we saw the markets get absolutely kabooshed today. China came back and said, well, you know what? We're going to hike up the tariffs to 34%. And guess what? The markets didn't like that. So then we had the employment number came in better than expected, but really didn't care about the employment number. I've been doing this now over 41 years, and when you get these aberrations in the market, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm expecting. I told you the big number was the weekly reversing for the first time since November 17th of 2023. Now we're in real severe risk of the monthly reversing to sell here, but it takes the whole month, and on April 30th, we have to see where that monthly is on my work on the spiders, and I'll show you that as well. But today, markets were wild, moving 30 to 40, 50 points at a clip on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ futures closed down over 1100 here, 1150. The Dow closed down over 2,200 points. You think this phases me? I've seen this before. Most of the people that in our community have never seen it, but guess what? With the right patterns, the right focus on the strategies, and the ability to trade what we see in front of us, this is a phenomenal market for all. It was just an amazing, great day. I'll show you the patterns. It was just unbelievable. Now, when you see markets moving like this, okay, at 11:30, the S&P's ripped from the 51, 53 all the way up to like 52.65, 52.70, something like that, because Powell, the Fed chairman, was going to come out and talk, but he didn't say anything. Everybody was expecting him to maybe say, we're going to look to cut interest rates here. We're going to be looking to accommodate more. He didn't say anything. And actually, he was kind of like hawkish, right? He wasn't dovish at all. And that absolutely put the caboose on the market. I think the S&Ps were trading at that time. Where were they here? Let's see, 11:30. They were trading up to 52.80. They rallied from 51.53. They traded up to 52.79, 52.80. How do I know? We were shorting them up there. And they got absolutely cabooshed. Within no time, they dropped 30, 40, 50, 100 handles on the NASDAQ, S&Ps. It was a game changer. The volatility is here, and it's making for a great market. For day trading, for intraday trading, for scalp trading, for those who are buying and they're holding forever, no, you're down for the year, okay? S&Ps are down over 6% for the day. NASDAQ down 6%. 5.75 points on the Dow. Now, I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen in the second segment here. However, the patterns were just absolutely amazing today. Absolutely amazing. We came into the day with the 15 to 30 and the 60-minute time frames all in sell mode. Every time we got a bounce off the 15-minute time frames, it met with a stone cold resistance. Unbelievable patterns. When the S&P futures correlated with its 30 and 60-minute time frames, and then correlated with the underlying ETFs, absolutely decimated here. Absolutely decimated. And let me get right here and show it to you now. Okay. So coming into the day, looking at the 15-minute, we had nothing but sells. Ding, ding, ding. Nothing but sells all the way down. Indicator 4, nothing but sells. Rising ADXs, negative MACDs. You can see the algorithm is negative here on the 30-minute time frame. Here's the 60. ADX is rising, huge selling pressure. The yellow dots, which is a price action, into the Cayenne, okay, right? And all we did was take all the bounces on the 15-minute time frame as shorts. These were phenomenal patterns all day. And then if you see here, you can see the continuous contract on the S&P futures when the 15-minute time frame reversed to sell at 12:30. That was it. What do you look to do? You short the first bounce on the 15-minute time frame. We caught this great short above 52.10 and never looked back. Look at that drop. Look at that drop. 51.07, dropped nearly almost actually more than 100 points on the S&P. Here's the second bounce at the end of the day. Magnificent short. Now, when you look at the SDSs, which is the Pro Ultra Short, once I got this buy reversal on the 15-minute time frame on the SDSs, it correlated with the 30 and the 60-minute time frame. It pulled in. It confirmed the short. This is the actual inverse. So that pattern right there at 130, 145, when the S&Ps were pushing up, the spiders were pushing up, it gave us the most unbelievable short. You blinked, and the S&Ps were down 30. The spiders were down 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. It was an absolute Picasso. The math, when it lines up, is just absolutely unbelievable how I can see these patterns intraday. And so many people in my community are actually seeing it even as it's happening and saying, Steve, the SDSs, the SQQQs reversed to buy in the 15, correlating with the 30 and the 60-minute time frame. Remember, how I'm teaching is based upon combination methodologies, sequence of patterns, right? So in the 15-minute time frame on the SQQQs reversed to buy and the SDSs, what happened? Wait for the pullback on the 5. Wait for the bigger time frame, the 15. It confirmed when the S&Ps were pushing up, we were going like this. Short, forward dart. Microsoft, forward dart. Palantir, Meta. Meta was trading 5.16 and dropped 12. Okay, Nvidia dropped about $1.50 too. It was just unbelievable pattern. Unbelievable pattern. And you know what? That's why one of my 5 keywords is patience. You wait for the patterns. And you know how to then learn how to, next thing down the road is when you become really confident in my methodology and learning from me, you have to learn how to size up a trade. But we'll get to that another time, okay? But great patterns across the board here. It was just really remarkable. You know, the one thing also, Bitcoin did not follow the market down here. Bitcoin was actually up 1,300 points today, which, I'm looking almost right now. I'm very close to getting buy reversals on the 60-minute time frames on MSTR on Coinbase, but I'll show you that in the second segment. But again, a wild day. S&Ps right now trading 50.80. So this is the pattern that I wanted to show you, and I'll show it to you right here. And this is the weekly and the monthly. Weekly reversed to sell on 314. And look at that bear flag. This is the first time the weekly reversed to sell since November 17th, right here. Since November 17th, right there, of 2023. Right? This gigantic uptrend is now bye-bye. Adios. Okay? Adios. So now, right here, 535.95, look where we are. We're 300 points lower right now on the S&P futures. Now, this is a monthly. We could easily go right back go right back up. However, if we go right back up, it's not saying we're in a bull market. It's that if we close below this number here, 535.96, it'll be the first time since May 31st of 2023. Severe problems. Now you're going to have not only the monthly negative, but the weekly. But, okay, we may go down to the 4,500, 4,600, 4,800, probably the 4,800 range on the S&P. It's only 275 points from here, all right? And that's the actual breakout level. When we broke out of that range, it was at 48.15, 48.16, I believe, a couple of years back. And we went right to 61.66. But there's a good chance that 4,800 is going to act as really solid support. Now, I've been doing this a long time. I've seen aberrations in the market. I saw a negative 40 oil. They were paying you, if you were able to buy the oil, a negative 40. Only could liquidate that day, right? I've been doing this a long time. When you have aberrations like this, it normally lasts 3. Yesterday, today, and if we get a caboose on Monday, expect a gigantic snapback rally. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If you look here on the daily, the standard deviation on the spiders is a 5. We're 53. Now, I'm not saying we're going to go back and make new highs, but we're going to get a rally, some type of an oversold condition. If you look at the S&P futures, look at this. We're 570. The standard deviation is 50. So I could expect a 250, 350, 400-point rally coming from somewhere. But don't think that we're going to new highs. No. Okay, that ain't happening. Look at the NASDAQ futures. NASDAQ futures, 2,200. The standard deviation for this is about 65, 70. Look at this. So you want to talk about a caboose? You want to talk about an aberration? This is a real aberration in the market. So what I'm trying to show each and every one of you here, okay, is that once I got that short, that sell signal on that weekly, I knew the weeklies do not go from sell to buy within 1 to 2 or 3 weeks. Doesn't happen. And that was a warning sign. And I said to everybody, when we got that push up to 58.30, my first target was 57.80. My second target was 58.30. My third target was 58.50. And my fourth last target was 58.80. We got as high as 58.37. And boom, we had a 97 overbought reading on the daily. I'm saying they're going to get cabooshed. First gap, 57.23 3/4. Boom. Now, I've been doing this game a long time, right? So this is not a time to theoretically panic. If we did get another 2, 3, 4% down, I think it's a buying opportunity for a trade only, okay? But eventually, these gaps that we see here will probably get filled in the next anywhere from the next 6 to 12, 13, 14 months, okay? So I would not panic. If you're a long-term investor, I would probably look to accumulate more, especially if we got near that 4,800, 4,850, 49. I think the low last year was 49.23 on a Sunday night, and then they snapped right back up. But and I do believe that the president understands what's going on here, and that people are really ticked off here, their 401ks. But in the end, he has his mandate, and he's doing what he believes. And he said this, America first, but here nor there, it's a great opportunity to trade. That's what we like to do. I mean, the S&P futures are literally moving minimum 10 on the clip, 20, 30, 40, 50. NASDAQ futures, you blinked at the end of the day at 1540, right? At 340, at NASDAQ futures dropped almost 400 points, over 400 points, right into the close. S&P futures, we were shorting above the 51, 88, 85, 85, 88, 92. It got to the next bar, boom, right down to 40. And then now printed 50, 75s here in the after hours. So the moves here are phenomenal, and the patterns are just great. And I just tell you, this is what every trader wants, especially if you're intraday trading. So again, we're going to see more of this on Monday. And when I come back, I'll tell you what I'm looking for and what I expect on Monday. Okay, so Monday, there's no economic number coming out at 8:30. But again, I expecting, based upon the buy divergences here on the 15-minute time frames on the Russell, the spiders, the diamonds, and the Qs, I believe that if we do get another push down, it's going to be short-lived. This is now we're going to be very close to getting an oversold condition. And let me show you. You see right here, indicator 3, we're at a 16. The minute we get into single digit, like 10 or under, I think we're going to explode to the upside. I really do. I'm not saying we're going to make new highs of 61, 66. I wouldn't be surprised if NASDAQ rallies 1,000 or 1,500 points very soon. And I wouldn't be surprised if the S&Ps run anywhere from 2 to 300 some odd points, work off this oversold condition, and then head right back down again. So there's no economic number coming out on Monday. However, Thursday and Friday, we have the CPI number, and then Friday, the PPI number. All right. So whether you're trading stocks or whether you're trading futures or commodity futures or ETFs, I firmly believe we're probably one day away from getting a push down here. We just hit the 50-75. Maybe we hit 50-35, 50-50, and I think we slingshot back up. I think there's names like Avago that to me looks sold out. Avago was trading at 142, and then out of nowhere from 130 until 330, it rallied $10 before selling off $6. There are names here I think are going to be in play here. I like Coinbase, MSTR, Avago, and of course, if we do get a push down, I like looking at the spiders, the SPXLs, the QQQs, or the TQQQs. I think that the market, if it opens up on Monday, I really prefer that it opens down on Monday and then look for an opportunity, because I do think that there will be a deep oversold. I saw. Let's say this, right? I don't think we're in a bear market just yet, even though the NASDAQ could be deemed in the bear market right now until these monthlies reverse to sell. But I will tell you, I've been around and I've seen wild, vicious rallies that will rip your head off, okay? And I'm not looking to be short down here. I'll tell you now, I am not looking to be short down here, all right? If anything, if they kaboosh them on Monday, I would be looking to buy and add to positions on the underlying ETFs, all right? So with that being said, you still got to maintain your discipline, pick your spots, and, you know, the market always will do something that I don't want it to do, meaning I want them to drop on Monday. They'll probably be gapping up on Monday, right? But we'll see. Again, for Monday, no 830 number, big numbers on Thursday and Friday, CPI and PPI. If we gap down, I think the market should hold and then look for some time of a very deep oversold rally in the next 1 to 3 or 4 days. All right. When I come back, I want to share a great story with you. So I met so many new people in the last week since I started SKTrading.live. And, you know, look, it's fast. It's ferocious. Markets aren't going to wait for me or anybody. As a beginner, it's really important that you got to give this a chance, because this is all about dynamic learning and teaching as the markets are live, you know, explaining the patterns. But I'm not a mind reader. And it's important that you ask questions on my Discord as a member, right? This is something that is remarkable to the point of how I teach and guide. If you just take the time and patience, I will be hosting a webinar for new members that are part of my community and for members who are out there that may be interested. So it's 2 separate webinars, so stay tuned for that. But I'm very proud of the people who are contacting me from all around the world who have the desire to really learn, and I love that. That to me inspires me to no avail. It gives me the greatest satisfaction to be able to empower you with the knowledge and the experience that I have that I want to give to each and every one of you. It is important that I guide you and teach you my methodology, but do it at a pace. Everybody is different in their pace, no problem. But it is important to understand that this is times that you probably are not used to. If you're a beginner, forget it, right? But you don't fear from this, right? You don't run from this. You take your time, you learn. There's a couple people in my room that ask so many questions during the day, and I'm guiding them, I'm explaining things gradually to them. Everybody learns differently, right? And that to me is the most important thing, to be able to have the patience to teach you to the point where you can become successful traders. Is this hard? Well, I don't know. To some, it can be. To others, no. Everybody's different. I try to do it in a way that everyone can learn equally across the board. And, a couple weeks ago, there were a couple people that went off the rails, and I had to talk to them, explain things to them, and now they're back on the rails. Okay. One person today said, I made $27,000 this week. Thank you. Thank you for helping me. And that's my gift. And I'm the happiest guy in the world when I hear that. And I hear from so many of you, all my phone blows up from people thanking me and helping them and asking questions. And I try to do whatever I can to return every call or text. All right. I call. I really don't like the text, to be honest with you. All right. But with that being said, it just gives me the greatest joy for me to be able to do this at this stage of my life. And I know my community is growing, and I just want to really just give as much knowledge and experience to each and every one of you. And it comes from my heart, but it gives me the really great feeling that if I could change your life, I feel I've done significant good. Okay, because my legacy depends on your success. All right, with that, have a great weekend, everybody. Most important, please join my community, sktrading.live. You can follow me on YouTube at SK Trading. Here I'm at The Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly, my podcast. Please subscribe, leave a comment. Follow me on X at Official Stephen Kalayjian on X and Instagram, and at TikTok at Official Stephen Kalayjian. Be careful. So many people are copying my face and picture and doing a lot of crazy things. I just can't take it. All right. Please be careful for scam artists or people that are using my name or try. I don't DM anybody. I give out my phone number at 914-500-7484 to help people if they want to reach out to me. I try to get to as many people as I can over time, but I don't DM anyone. So please don't think if you're getting a DM, it's not for me. So that's not me. Don't get scammed into people trying to sell you something or anything like that. I'm giving you a warning. This is me here. I'm giving you my personal cell phone number, and that's that. Thank you for watching me tonight on The Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. Have a great weekend. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. You are.
Thanks for tuning in to The Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe at sktrading.live or on your favorite podcast platform. We'd love for you to rate, review, and join our community for more real talk and market insights. Until next time, keep trading and stay sharp.